as soon as this concert's over tonight, somebody's going to go put it on the Fishnet. They'll list all the songs we played. They'll say what happened. Like, you can't go out and tell the same joke, or, you've got to be living in the moment.
How interesting that they're documenting your life.
I know. It is. It's very, every show, you wouldn't believe this, the printout on this Fishnet. They'll write down everything. What I said in between songs. Sometimes it's...
And is it sold?
Is it sold? No, it's all... That's another thing. The whole philosophy is it's all free. Like I said, you better do something new the next concert. Or... Because everybody's already heard that.
Wook Plus Live.
Welcome back to Wook Plus. I'm the Great Went, joined by T and Mr. Scott Marks, Biz Archive. How we doing, guys?
That was a real flashback through memory lane right there.
I thought of, that's
I
why
remember,
I the picture.
Yeah, I didn't have anything, but I remember like the 90s, that black background, and then like around Big Cypress with like the sky blue, and man, that brings back some memories. It's well before my Fishnet time. But
Can I just say that I never put together Fishnet like it's a fish, like a net for fish. Like I never put that together. I just always looked at it like fish.net. You know what I mean? Like it was just always in my brain that way. But then hearing him say fishnet, I was like, oh, it's like a fishnet. That's so clever. Like I'm an idiot. Like it just really clicked for me. I was like, my buddies, we were talking about Picture of Nectar a couple of years ago. And one of my buddies was like, wait, there's a picture, there's a face in it. I was like, oh my God. Like it was one of those moments where like I never really looked at it close enough. That's like I was always too close to it. So yeah, brilliant. Anyway, that video is great though. I love seeing the old
that was as far back as the Wayback Machine went. It didn't have anything from the Usernet days or things like that, whatever it was the one originally.
It reminds me of when we brought up like the old Andy Gadiel's Fish page and all those things like that had like the old his old design on it and shit. It's so great.
God, waking up, first thing you did, refresh, and somebody put the set list up, man. Come on.
Yeah.
See, we were bad back then. We were noobs at one time. Everyone was. So we went without a set list tonight in honor of Phish going without a set list. And I guess we were going to talk a little bit about, we have New Hampshire coming up. And I had suggested to Scott talking a little bit about Colorado in general. And he said, well, why don't we talk about New Hampshire? First time in a long time that they've played, I guess specifically Manchester, right? And New Hampshire in general.
So the last time they played in Manchester was in 2010, 10/26/10, which is right in the middle of the week, in the last part of that fall tour, which was one of those. It almost felt like the days of the you snooze you lose. Like it wasn't really near anything, and it was just a great show. I don't think it was completely sold out that night. And then before that it was 1993 Durham, and then you had the shows like in Portsmouth in 92, and but like you had the Secret Language debuting in 92, and 93 had like the Bowie, Jessica Bowie, and just that whole one of the top live Phish shows. And so I feel like there's just a little bit of special history there because they don't play New Hampshire very often.
Well, I started looking through all the cities, and it's amazing how many places they played 88, 89, 90 through 92, 93 dropped off the map.
Well, I mean, there's an amphitheater in Guilford. No, I missed 94 there. So thank you, V to boot. So I gotta get my game. I gotta get my game up for Friday, but I'm sleeping at the wheel over here. So thank you.
By the way, real quick, Kev, I just wanted you to see that because Jason.
Yeah, well, we'll tell that to the 60% of people who don't make it through it.
There's a reason for it, Jason. We'll tell you. It was Kev's executive decision.
And it's only there's only 2 votes left, so
That's right. It's anarchy if one of us disagrees with the other one.
It is anarchy. It is anarchy. I used to have tape from the 91 tape from the Portsmouth Music Hall. That was an early tape that I got that circulated. And we were talking a little bit about taping before we came on and how important it is to Phish. I mean, when we get to, we'll talk about Colorado in a little bit. Some of those tapes are just, the Boulder, the Halloween tapes from 90 or 91 and the Boulder show that was 11-1. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
How that works. How do new bands do it? I guess is a question. If you don't have taping anymore.
Well, you're hoping for live streams and look at how Goose did it during the pandemic and shit. I mean, so you're hoping you get the word out. I think there's a lot more ways to get the word out now, though, without taping. You have social media,
YouTube,
on
Facebook streams.
Yeah, you can rise so easily now with your own and be your own brand in music and do it. You kind of, I think,
and getting stuff on re-listen and Nugs and archive, and just word of mouth, definitely helps.
It just
playing the
seems
festival scene.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There was something more personal. Like when you got a tape, you had the tape and you're like, what you got, man? What you got? All right. There was
nothing else around you. You didn't have anything else. Like your computer was limited, to not playing, not doing a lot, So it was
computer.
Still using.
What are you talking about? Computer.
Well, in college, it was like a word processor type thing. Before that, you had nothing. It was just your tape deck. So of course it was the only way you did anything.
I thought it built. Go ahead, Scott.
I remember, it's something that doesn't fail to, blow my mind, all these years later. 98 had the Dark Side of the Moon set. And I didn't get tapes of that probably till summer 99 out in the lot. Now you snap your fingers and the show's on Live Phish or it's on Nugs the next day or archive. And I can wake up the next morning and listen to a show and not wait 6-8 months or not even have the show in circulation, the bigger bands.
And you also bought a tape. You bought a 10-pack of tapes, you could pick 10 shows to tape. So they became your shows if you had to choose between 2 nights of a run or something, or do I really need the first set? I think I'll just get the second set. And then a week later, you're like, I wish I had the first set too, man. It's fantastic. All right. I think Pittsburgh might be the show, though, this year that is the sleeper. Because it's the 4th one, and it's in between New Hampshire and Austin. It's like a lonely little show out there.
Well, it's not even between. I mean, I guess it is. But, this is such a hard tour to travel.
Dude, yes.
But yeah, it could definitely be a sleeper because, who's going to, the hardcore people would do, New Hampshire, and then that's got to be like a 10-hour drive at least to Pittsburgh. If you're going to do that or if you're going to fly. But, I did the whole summer 2000 tour in car because it was all East Coast and Midwest. But you can't, it's impossible to do that. With this, you have to fly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kevin and I talked about that before. This is the non-driving tour, kind of the way it's built. It's very difficult. You'd be putting on a lot of miles, especially this whole section, Pittsburgh, Texas, Colorado, and then where's it at? Ohio, isn't it after that? Yeah, I mean,
there's an Ohio show. It is. I tell you what, 2019 best show of the fall 2019 tour was that Pittsburgh show.
Yeah,
kind of partial to Providence shows. Those are pretty good.
Right. Well, we got the Fishman song
and all the plasma reprises. So,
right, we got a Fishman tune, and the only Ghost of the Forest, I think. Right? I don't think they've done Ghost of the Forest again.
No.
I mean, looking at Pittsburgh too, not a lot of shows, especially. I mean,
Star Lake's
Yeah,
Star
Star
Lake's
Lake,
like the
right.
suburbs.
But that's, exactly. But you're not like where this is, or like what you're doing with like, this. It's not that and that like repertoire of those shows and like what those shows are. So when you're looking at like Civic Arena and Peterson Event Center, which is where they're playing.
Peterson's a great little spot. It's
Which is
on
where
a
they're
hill
playing
though.
this
You got to walk. You got to walk up to it, or you have to walk up to parking. One of the two. Like you either have to park above it or below it. So at some point you're walking up it.
uphill.
You know me. I don't do hills. I want flat ground.
What shows you guys hitting this summer?
None. Go watch from the couch, do our thing, do our recaps. I might go to Pittsburgh.
You doing
I might go
Hampton?
to actually, I'm going to go see Annapolis Baygrass, which is the same weekend because I want to support the Maryland festival thing, and
That's wonderful.
yeah.
You're out west, right? So like you're not seeing any shows either.
I'm trying to do. I think I'm trying to do Boulder for the 4th, and the Taper's Choice Night Zero show is really what I'm trying to do, and then catch the 4th show. But I'm recovering from shoulder surgery that I just had, so like everything's up in the air right now with like traveling and trying
to come first.
Yeah, so it's a little. I don't know. I'm not really as gung ho as I was before, so we'll see. And if not, then nothing, and not doing Hampton, so it'll be a long spell after fall.
It feels weird not having those end of summer shows at Dick's. I decided I wasn't going out for the 4th of July. Just it's not the same feel with tradition, and so 25,000 in that stadium versus Dick's. So I mean, I'm doing. I'm in the Northeast, so I'm doing.
New Hampshire
this weekend, and then Man a couple of weeks, and Forest Hills, and that's it. Not doing spec. I'll be at Newport Folk Fest, which is like the gem of Rhode Island music. So it's gonna be weird not being at spec for like the first time since the 90s.
Right. We're probably doing a festival preview. We've been doing festival previews of stuff of Newport because I mean, there's so much there. God, so many crazy things happened at Newport over the years. Who's playing this year?
Trying to think. Public Enemy. Public Enemy is playing at the Folk Fest.
Amazing.
Luke Combs, Mary Chapin Carpenter, Kenny Loggins, Goose and Geese are playing on the same day. Which is fascinating.
Is Kenny Loggins playing the same day? Are we going to get like
I think Kenny Loggins also on Friday. The Lemon Heads.
Oh, nice.
So they were a recent addition. I've never seen them before.
That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I know this is a Phish chat here, so I'm going off the reservation, but just like the vibe in that place, everyone's happy to be there, and the musicians are happy to be there, and you get all these guests that show up, and so it's a one of a kind thing, and tickets are hard to get. Like they sell out instantly, and then you go on to Dice for the waiting list, and usually it works out. But it's if you ever get the chance to make it happen, then do it.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of those that if you can swing it, do it. How many times have you gone? You go often though, don't you? A couple times?
Yeah, did 2016, 18, 19, and last year. And then I did the first day in 2015 where Roger Waters was the headliner, and My Morning Jacket was his backup band.
Nice. Wow.
And like Lucius played with him, and G.E. Smith, who looked like he was 85 years old then. So I was surprised he's only like 65 or 70 or, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, that's crazy. Yeah.
So we just went type 2, everybody. So we're gonna bring it back. It's my ADD taking over, and so yeah.
No, that's super cool though. I remember following your content though from you being there. I was like, oh, dude, Scott's in Newport, sweet. So that was really, it's always cool to follow your shit when you do cool stuff like that.
Oh,
So.
and Jay Tweedy, he was like the first guy announced. So I saw him a couple of years ago. Thanks, Frank. So one of my favorite musicians. I love Wilco, and one of the nice things about that festival is that like you'll go in there and you won't recognize half the bands, and you just learn. Then you walk out with like 10 or 15 bands that you've like never heard of, and you're like, oh, this is good. And there's some like indie stuff, like Waxahachie is there. And I can't remember the guy that Trey's been talking about like nonstop. He's playing there as well. I think he mentioned it like in the New York article, but I'm drawing a blank, so it's not very helpful here. And so yeah, there's definitely going to be FOMO, like watching like the sets come in from SPAC, and I'm like, not going to be there, but
we've had an ongoing discussion about festivals and the viability of festivals these days. And I think T and I both love what you're saying, going to a festival and finding new bands, as opposed to only going to a festival if 10 of the 12 bands kind of thing.
Yeah, I think we bring that pretty much up every time. It's like it's those lower level bands, those lower things that you're like, oh, this would be cool, or who are these guys, or who are the ones you stumble in the afternoon when you get there early and catch and stuff, and then you're like, these guys are sweet, or I'll start following these guys. So.
Like I saw in I think 2019, Casey Musgraves like the middle of the afternoon, and now she's playing like arenas, headlining and whatnot, and just she hadn't blown up then, and so it's kind of surreal seeing musicians that
love that.
are in. And then like they also you think folk, but like War on Drugs played last year, Taj Mahal. And so it goes off into different genres. It's special.
Right. We were talking to Michael Arnone, who does something called the Crawfish Fest in Jersey, and he's been doing it for years. And he said, 1 year we had Trombone Shorty play, and he was like 8th on the list. And he's like, now I could never get that guy to come to my festival again.
That's still one of my favorite interviews and the coolest festival I think we've done this thing. So if you haven't checked that one out, go check out the Crawfish Festival. It's like already happened, but go next year. If you live on the East Coast, you have to check that out. Kevin and I said like one of these years we're going. It's like the most authentic New Orleans, like jazzy crawfish festival in Jersey. And we were like, how do you pull that off? But it is like, it's amazing. And that dude is awesome. So
he gets people flying in from New Orleans to go to his Crawfish Festival.
Yeah. That's how good it is. So props.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Trombone Shorty is amazing, by the way. I caught him all in a couple of years ago at Indianapolis, another great festival. You talk about dream lineup. That was Trey Quartet, Humphreys with Jason Bonham on vocals, and drums, and then Jason Bonham on drums, and they had like his vocalist doing all the parts as well. Green Sky Bluegrass,
nice.
Tenacious D, Eggy, Neighbor, just like on and on and on. It's like, you don't get festivals like that too often that you just, like, I got to do this. It seems like a lot of the festival circuits have like the same stuff, festival after festival after festival. And then when you get something where it's kind of like a different lineup, then it just kind of gets your attention.
Absolutely. Or a different vibe or a whole different thing. You're like, ooh, this looks really interesting. Or I would totally check this out. And some of the cooler ones, like the smaller ones we've looked at too, like the Acoustic Hookah Festival and the other one that we just did in the Forest one. Those are sweet. And like the cool thing is it's mostly their fans though that go every year, right? You're not pulling in like a lot of new people. So to keep it going with just your core fans and doing it year after year is impressive as hell to me. So that's awesome.
All right, I'm looking at this, and the last time they played Austin, I guess, is also 2010, right? That same tour. Zilker Park.
Where did they play in 2016? It's right before Vegas.
Oh yes, they did the 360 amphitheater in Del Valle, Texas. That's why it's sorted weird for me. 2018 they played that. Yeah.
Okay. 2018. Yeah, there are some, shall we say, controversial shows that showed up then. The return of Friday. That's
a great song. That is such a great song. That if they were any other band, that would have been a hit. They would have had an indie radio hit with that. I mean, what can you do? I realize
I was always brought up, if I don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I'm gonna mute myself.
I always wish that Phish would release a single with Friday on one side and Tuesday on the other.
Oh man,
I'm done. All right. Bill A knows what he's talking about. Dallas wasn't good. I have a buddy who's in Austin who's getting Phish this year. I'm like, you were put on like double secret probation. So like you had your chance, man, and you blew it. And so that's why Phish hasn't played in like a decade. And so their chance to get it right.
Oh, you're mean.
Person.
You're so mean to me. There is a great after show going on down in Austin though with Joe Marcinek, Krasno, Reed Mathis, and Chris Porter from the Motet. And wow. I'm like, that might be one you don't go to the show and you get up and do the after show.
I mean, I'm going to do it again and plug another one of our things, but dude, our after show and pre-show preview thing we did, there are some ridiculous post shows this tour. Right. I mean, probably some of the best ones we've seen, and even some of the like pre-shows before the night zero shows and pre-shows before, but the post shows are out of control for this tour. So yeah,
right. That alone. And Boulder has 8 after shows.
That's insane.
It's a big weekend.
I mean, what is it? It's Pink Talking Phish versus Taper's Choice the first night, and then it's Galactic versus somebody. I keep saying versus because one's playing the Fox and one's playing Boulder Theater.
Yeah.
So the show I was thinking of was 10/25/16.
Okay.
And they did play in 2018, but 2016, the set list, and mind you, one person's trash is another person's treasure. It's the beauty of music and Phish. This set list was Daniel Saw the Stone, Moma Dance into Choctaw Torture, Cities into Foam, Waking Up Dead, Divided Sky, I Didn't Know, Walk Away into What's the Use into More. Second set, Stealing Time from the Faulty Plan, Backwards Down the Number Line into Lifeboy, Meat Stick, The Line, Tide Turns into Taste, into Friday, Waves into Julius, Good Times, Bad Times, and an encore of Show of Life.
That's like 90 songs in this second set.
And maybe the whole Fishnet crew is jaded like I am, but you'll notice that there are no songs highlighted for jams on that night. So,
amazing.
Was,
I tell you what,
and a couple nights later, they did the Golden Age in Vegas, and like all is forgotten. Right. So
there you go.
I am a best fan, jams of the year.
I am a fan of The Line. Also, I coached basketball, kitty basketball for my kids for 8 years. So The Line always resonated with me.
I was going to say, after you finish that, Scott, to your treasures and trash comment, is I know one person that would be like, I love that second set, and it would be Kev. He would be like, no way, it's got all this. Look at everything that's in this. This is fantastic. I tell you what, this is exactly what Phish is built for. Look at these songs. This is exactly what you want in the second set.
I had a buddy who was doing a Mixlr that night and hadn't turned it off when the show was over. And he had some very colorful commentary. It's like, what the fuck did we just witness or whatever? So
that's the best. That's great.
Brian Garrett, if you're here, that's for you, man. He's not watching.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They did Also in Boulder, the most interesting thing, though, the show you might want to see is on the last night, because you definitely want to get on after show after seeing night 0 through there.
Scott
but
knows
it's
what's
the
up.
Motet,
Yep.
the Motet doing a Jamiroquai show.
A what?
Jamiroquai?
Jamiroquai?
Jamiroquai.
Okay. Sorry, buddy.
We'll see how long it takes me to get invited back after that little shot.
I know.
Sorry.
We love him for it. It's water.
It's my shtick. I always mispronounce stuff.
Everything.
Man, Boulder's another place. When was the last time they played Boulder? Actually, they did the radio station thing in '98, but it's been since '93, maybe. Boulder Theater or the Field House at the University of Colorado in '93.
Well, I've gotten all my stats wrong so far with Texas and with New Hampshire, so I'm going to cheat and go to Fishnet.
I see. Yeah, I think I don't know. Was 93 the last time?
Yeah, well, '98 they did that radio tour.
Right, but that was at KBC. But it's like actually on the campus too. I think was 93, March of '93, right?
Yeah,
they bought Fieldhouse. And Kevin and I were talking about this earlier. Like, it's crazy how many Colorado shows they've really played. I mean, when you look at, I was shocked that list. Honestly, like it just keeps scrolling down and down. You're like, holy crap! Look at all the stuff before Red Rocks, and then even before what you really remember. I mean, Kevin and I were talking some of these that we got tapes from, like that Boulder show, and I remember when they played the Ramskeller in Fort Collins before I got up there, and like everyone talking about it once I got up there, and like, what, they played in here? Like, that's insane. But yeah, in Fort Ram and like the 91 Boulder Theater.
You know what happened? The first time they went to Colorado, a prairie dog spoke to Trey and said, "I want a jam band mecca built here in
Jamtopia,
Colorado into a Jamtopia." Yeah.
Preach, Kevin.
That's it. So it's an interesting, like, sort of, you can break it down though into sort of sections, right? You have pre-Red Rocks with all the like Field House and shows like that nature, and then when they break out and sort of hit the Red Rocks years from 93 through 96, really, and then after that,
further back, like the Telluride '98, their first venture out there, and then they were back 2 years later.
Well, yeah, way back. That's what I mean. That first tier, that lower tier of before Red Rocks is crazy when you look at like the Field Houses and all those places, the small bars that they played.
They could make a like Spinal Tap movie about Phish's first trip to Colorado, thinking they had a tour lined up.
There's a sequel coming out this year.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
And they're putting a sequel out to Spaceballs too. I don't know about this, man.
You kind of questioned my enjoyment on Blue Sky. I'm like, and then I just posted the picture of Dark Helmet just to troll.
We've gone to black.
I think the Spinal Tap movie is gonna be better than the Spaceballs one.
I agree.
You got all the actors still coming back from Spinal Tap, and
I agree. Look at how bad, I don't know if you watched, but like the History of the World Part 2 like thing that they did on Hulu was so not to the level of like History of the World Part 1, and it's one of those things like, why?
I'm excited to Rick Moranis back though.
Yeah, I mean,
he hasn't had an acting role in a long time in a movie. So
it's trying to catch lightning in a bottle, though. It feels like,
nostalgia, Kev. Remember, it's like the nostalgia act.
Yeah. So we've gone type 2 again.
Right. Where's the new ideas though? What did Dylan say? If there's an original thought out there, I could use it right now. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Absolutely fascinating. But I don't know, Scott, to your point earlier about changing up Dick's to Boulder and doing the 4th of July instead of Labor Day. And I mean, there's reasons why it happened or whatever, but it's just such a, I don't know, gut punch, like odd change to the system, like weird thing not having that this year and like always having
it kind of takes the magic away a little bit. There's different magic. I get it. 3-night run and 4th of July weekend. It's gonna be great, but don't want to be baking in the stadium on 4th of July weekend.
Right. I always felt like when Dix went to 4, it was a little much. I like 3. 3 is a good number. 4
Three's a good
felt
number.
so much extra.
The legs.
I was
Hurt
joking
the
my
leg.
drug of choice at a Phish show is my Advil I have with my earplugs.
Right.
Because my
Imodium and
body
Advil
definitely needs it after like 2 nights on the floor, or 3
Right.
nights, and like
It's like Fear and
give me
Loathing in
that
your
for my
50s.
back, please. Yeah.
Advil, Imodium, some
This is
heartburn
this is
medicine.
the olds edition of Wook Plus, guys. This is the olds. The olds are taking over.
It's all right. That's
Oh,
our demo.
wow.
We were looking at our demos, and like they're right there with us. So everyone understands the pains and aggros of trying to do tour and shows.
Wook
Especially
Plus brought to you
multi-night
by Advil.
Right. So this is the first
Advil
time place
Senior.
in Columbus, right? First time?
What's that?
First time place in Columbus.
Yeah.
They haven't played there since 2000 at Polaris. Which, does Polaris even exist anymore? I haven't heard that name in forever.
And you saw the address of it is 555 Borough
is it?
Drive. So you're getting a 555 one of those nights. Probably, hopefully, a nice, long, jammed out one for Makita.
Have you guys seen what happened to Polaris? Like, go Google Polaris, and like they took everything away, and like, you know, you can look there. There's like no seats left. It's probably been torn down now, but for a while, you know, after
was like a-
closed down, it was still there, like a ghost town or whatever.
People were taking seats? People stole seats, or they took...
I don't know, man. Like you can find stuff online, like where what was left of Polaris, like graffiti all over the place, and you know, I still remember the last time Phish played there, that Down with Disease going into While My Guitar Gently Weeps, which is just like, you know, you talk about your brain melting. That's one of the best transitions I've ever heard.
No.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
That
I'd
was
say
I
what
think,
the last-
Curveball from the archives, I think, that got released on.
Oh, right.
Crazy Storm was the 14th. So it was the first night, the 2-night run. They did Sample in a Jar. Yeah, Mike Screw's asking about that. So did Sample in a Jar, and like this ridiculous storm microburst came in. They stopped the show after Sample in a Jar for like an hour, and came back out and did like the seconds. You know, you know, so it's like you have a 1-song first set, and then Punch in the Eye the whole second set and third set. 7/14/2000. Yeah.
Wow.
Jason, not
So-
only is it twice a day, but it's any address, it's any little thing. My buddy, even who lives in Denver, just got his license plate to say 555, and it's like spelt, and then it's got the numbers and shit in it. So yeah, it is an obsession in like a group of my Phish fans. And my birthday is on 5/5. So in a couple years, I turn 55, so it'll be 5/5. I'll be 55 on 5/5. So yeah, it's an obsession.
Will you
with my
drive?
group. And I don't drive 55.
Will
Kev.
you drive 55? You do not. All right. So the last
Like
time
when
they
Bobby
played
played with the
Ohio,
Red
in
Rocks. Wait, hang on,
general-
Kev. I got a question for you. Wait, why do you think that the show between the Pittsburgh show would be a better show than the Ohio show? Because the Ohio show is one of those out there shows that's kind of an in between before
Right.
they get to South Carolina from Colorado, and that's a huge trek.
This is like one of those Indiana Jones maps where just
Yeah,
goes like in
with the
50,000
red line
directions.
across. Yeah, totally.
I think that Pittsburgh, they aren't going to be road worn and weary yet. By the time they go to Pittsburgh, to Austin, to Boulder, you know,
They're
all
probably
of a
flying,
sudden
man. There is no road weariness when you're flying from place
There's
to
no
place. The fans on the other hand, if you're driving around the country, you're gonna be road
Right.
weary.
right?
And it's 4
So
days
the
later.
last
I mean,
time they-
you don't think they're going to be on fire coming out of Colorado and the 4th of July hype and like playing that
You also have like 4 days between those shows. Like there's
Yeah.
3 days off, 6, 7, 8. And so it's kind of like you're hitting the reset button for that Wednesday night.
exactly. It's not like
Yeah,
90. It's not
maybe.
like the 90s where it's like the next night you're going right from that 3-night
Right.
run into Ohio the next night and then trying to get to South Carolina a day later. So
It
Yeah.
does feel weird to have that big gap in the middle. And same thing with between Texas and Folsom.
Yeah.
Yeah, my God.
Four
That's
4 full days between that.
riding through the Badlands.
I mean, it takes
Yeah.
you 2 days to drive through Texas, though. So I mean, everyone driving, like.
When I saw the schedule or the tour come out, I couldn't help to think, well, I wonder if they're going to add a show here, add a show there, because you just had such a huge gap between shows and it never materialized.
Yeah. Well, did you notice that there are no Live Nation venues?
Mm-hmm. We talked about that before, but yeah.
That's a whole another level of nerd right there. Just
conspiracy.
Pot called the kettle black, one nerd to another.
that's part of Kev's conspiracies.
I mean, the last time they played Ohio, I guess, was 22, and wasn't that when they did the free at Blossom? Didn't they do like a monster free there?
I think so.
I think so. So that bodes well. Maybe, T. Maybe I guess I'm partial to Pittsburgh, even though I don't like the basketball, the baseball team, because they beat the Orioles back in '79 in the World Series.
Great logos.
They've sucked for a long time, so I think you can get your revenge on that.
Yeah. Great logo, though, man. I always liked the Pirates logo. So good.
Right. Oh, man. Isn't that who Doc Ellis pitched for? Wasn't Doc Ellis day the other night?
Is that where Pittsburgh?
Yeah, he definitely pitched for the Pirates at one point.
Yeah. Old Pirates.
So what's the difference between Charleston? What's the difference between Charleston and North Charleston?
North.
You're a little further north.
North is the difference.
It's not South Charleston.
I mean, they're big fans of this. They're big fans of both Credit One Stadium and this North Charleston Coliseum. I like the indoors because you don't deal with the weather. We saw what happened to Bonneville. We saw the Wilmington the other year got completely canceled. I really dig the indoor. I know people are like, summer, you need to be outside.
No, man, give me the air conditioning and I guess the COVID. It seems like you get sick from these indoor runs. There are more indoor shows this tour than outdoor shows for the core of it. It might balance out with the September shows, but the June, July shows, they're more indoor shows. I'm
a fan.
So,
I don't know, man. I agree, but summer tours for outdoors. Come on, you have. I don't know. I hate. I don't know. I like being out on the store,
I like the lawn.
Summer.
Right. I like outdoors in the summer on the lawn because you can get 20 people together to hang out. Whereas if you're inside, everybody goes to the.
I'm kind of fine not sweating my balls off in the pit and drinking a gallon of water. So give me the indoors with like a little air conditioning and an Nalgene.
I forgot, right?
And a seat maybe too, like a nice comfy chair to sit in. Sometimes. Sure. Maybe a box, maybe a suite, in there.
Be careful sitting down. You saw what happened to that Goose guy. The picture of him sitting down at New Year's. He has yet to live that down.
What happened? Tell us the story.
Rick from Goose. There's a picture of him sitting down during the game end set. Hey, I'm a sitter. I will sit for whole songs. I'll take a nap if it's the right song.
Well, he is a sitter.
Oh, they're playing more? I can catch a quick 5-minute nap.
I actually fell asleep at a Phish show.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. So, this is Bizarre Archive After Hours here. Big Cypress. So it's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and they're playing Roses Are Free. And I'm somewhere in the back of the field, and I sat down, Indian style, and fell asleep, sitting up. And then, woke up, and I'm, this before I had, the journals, and I had some sort of sales, and I asked, 4 people, what song is this? And finally, someone's like, it's still Roses. It's like, all right. It's like a 30-minute Roses. Right. So, yeah, I can... I closed. I fell asleep during the Phish show, but it was an all-nighter at least. So
Yeah.
That was, I can't believe I stood up for most of that set and my legs are hurting thinking about it now. Thinking back to that.
Well, Scott, I was going to say, Kev, I can't believe you didn't correct him, though, on the crisscross applesauce. Scott, you're the only other person who says Indian style like I do, and I always get in trouble for it. Kev always gives me shit. He's like, you can't say that.
I tell you what, the first day my oldest came home from kindergarten, she said,
that's the only way that was what I was told. Like, it's kindergarten. It's like you said Indian style. Yes. Like, I have no kids. Right. So it's like I didn't bother looking up with her, but what's it called? Applesauce, crisscross.
I don't even know what that means.
Crisscross applesauce. When Cayenne came home, Cayenne comes home from kindergarten the first day, and she was talking about it, and I mentioned something about sitting Indian style, and she's like, "It's crisscross applesauce," and I was like, "Cool." I did not know. My fault.
Just sat down with my legs crossed. Right. Yeah. This is not this crisscross applesauce shit.
Well, when you have kids, they teach you these things. There you go. Right. Lotus position, Eric. That's a good call.
There you go. Sure.
I sat down in lotus position during the Roses jam, closed my eyes, and then woke up, and it was still still Roses.
It's a good story though. Still,
it was still Roses. So you're going?
I have no shame. I have no shame. So I'll go throw myself under the bus. It's fine.
It's fun. I appreciate that though. I'm glad you said it because it's nice. It's as Kev too is like such a boomer. You would think those would be the things that he latches onto too. Like always amazes me the things that he's like, no, you like don't. And you're like, what? Like you're older than me. You have to know that that's what we grew up with. And he's like, yeah, but I guess it's the kids.
When your daughters correct you, you're like, cool. That's that's where I'm going.
Well, please thank your daughters for schooling me on.
Right.
Applesauce crisscross or just lotus.
That's right. I crisscrossed my applesauce.
Lotus. Lotus.
What kind of applesauce?
Doesn't make any sense, man.
Does it? It makes zero sense. Like Indian style, perfect. Like I know exactly what you're talking about.
Rhymes. I think it just rhymes.
So for kids, it like makes sense, right? Like it's like the song for kids. Like
was crisscross applesauce before crisscross?
Crisscross.
No, make that up after the 90s.
They're gonna make you jump.
So what happened like between 1985 and 1993? Were you still fine saying Indian style then? And then you have to flip it around, or
definitely.
I think in the early 2000s. You know what? Hey, crisscross. We like them. So, yeah.
That's Curry.
I'm gonna say Christopher Cross style from now.
The chat is freaking gold. I'm enjoying this. I'm loving talking to you guys, but I'm also enjoying
crisscross Indian sauce. There we go.
Curry. That's called curry.
I think we're like type 4 now. So type 2 is gone. Type 2 on itself.
As cities go, I would say that Philadelphia has a fantastic batting average with the Spectrum shows and the Man shows, and even that New Year's in 94 when they did Little Drummer Boy, like a real full-on Little Drummer Boy jam, not this
Mallory.
Mallory, right? Yes,
Mallory,
the song that.
Oh, geez.
Kevin's thinking about Mallory right now, so he's gone. So it's just two of us.
It's not right. The song that
it's an invention of thin air. Kevin's gone. So I guess we have to carry on the tradition here. So yeah,
it's funny.
Billy has a lot of.
He told me that
great,
something was on, and he's like, "We're having a geological event right now," and I was like, "Oh, does that mean you're coming? Like, I'm gonna lose you at some point tonight?" There he is.
Now we're our squares.
Dude, I can't.
All right, there we go.
Kevin, it did that again. That's so weird. It did that the other day. Team, remember?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Stop moving your damn squares around. Stop it.
That was some great timing, though, Kev. Like right when you were like, "Oh, Mallory, that's what it
gone."
Just gone.
It was the last rotation jam, I believe. Maybe they might have done. Oh, maybe they did the Deer Creek one after that with Rocco William. Such a Philly. I've seen so many great shows. I used to call Philly a local show because it was an hour and a half away, an hour and 15. Yes. No, I don't think it's the internet. I think it has something to do with Chrome because Chrome just decided to shut down. The internet was fine.
I know, but it's
hey,
just so
Kevin,
funny.
I'm on Chrome, so it ain't Chrome.
All right. Well, no, I think it's a combination of the three. I'm just waiting for October when I do not have to do Microsoft updates anymore because Windows 10 will no longer be supported.
I think they're going to get rid of Netscape Navigator too, right?
Yes, they are. Yeah, so I'm screwed.
Email Kevin his Hotmail account.
Gmail.com.
Oh God, Kev, so good.
So where exactly is Forest Hills? It is in Queens?
I think so.
Okay. I hear you. I've never been there. I know they play tennis.
Yep. I guess the shows are remember like a couple of months ago there was talk about them not doing any shows out there at all. And
yeah.
I guess that died.
Well, they paid off. The way they resolved the noise problem was by hiring extra security. So basically, there was some payola going on, probably, or something like that. Oh man,
I actually would be happy with like my walls shaking from the bass.
Yeah, it's a tough thing because Kevin and I talked about it on a microdose when they did announce that like they weren't going to do shows there, and then they announced that they were going to do the tour. But like, I totally get it for those neighbors that live there. That would suck sometimes. So like 11, especially if I don't know, you got shit to
like
do
it's
next
early
day.
curfew though, like 10 o'clock or something.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And people talk about like,
and as Kevin and I saw too, there's only 2 cities of the entire tour that don't have any after shows, and this is one of those places where there's obviously no after shows. But yeah, it looks like a killer venue though. I must say, it's awesome, but it sucks that it's like in that neighborhood and they have to deal with that.
You know what? I totally skipped.
You skipped Chicago. I know. I thought maybe you were doing that for a reason, but I don't. Yeah. Okay. No. Okay.
I just skipped it by mistake. That's
Go
all right.
Chicago.
There's no other shows that ever happened in Forest Hills, so.
So you were just jumped the gun to get there.
All right. Chicago has a good batting average too. I mean, obviously, maybe the best Halloween show they did. Not my favorite, but I know a lot of people say 98, but that Who album was cool.
Quadrophenia is such a great album.
Yeah, we've talked about the Who before.
That's face.
Did you see that Ringo Starr called Roger Daltrey a little man? So Ringo stepped into the phrase like, "You fired my son, you better watch out."
Beef between like these old dudes. It's great.
It's a lot of drummers losing their jobs.
Yeah,
the hot seat
or retire or decide. Yeah, what was that guy Josh Freese from the Foo Fighters? I guess they got the guy from Stone Temple Pilots back now behind the kit they're doing a show in Mexico at some point this year.
Yeah,
some huge festival.
That's right. Another another indoor show though, and the United Center, like an interesting choice. I don't know. Of all the places that they've played or could play in Chicago, again, another not outdoors.
Isn't that owned by Madison Square Garden?
All I know is that I was in Northerly Ireland. Northerly Ireland. Thank you. I can speak. I promise. In 2013, when they shut that down, it's like disease in the Caspian. The Caspian is like 30 seconds or whatever, and the joke is like I was like the best Caspian ever.
And then was that the Harpua the next night? The worst Harpua ever?
Yeah, they did that Harpua either. I don't know if it was like Saturday or Sunday. Meanwhile, like 10 years later, that North Carolina show, Northerly Island. I got this. I promise. 10 years to the day of that Chicago show that went down. They had the North Carolina show.
Interesting. Yeah, Northerly Ireland is actually in North Charleston, South Carolina.
See, there we go.
I went to the first night of that show in North Carolina, and driving home the next morning was in the vortex of a tornado. Almost died.
What?
Kev almost died.
Yeah, almost died.
That's where
Like
you
the
freaking
car.
pull over and stop driving.
Well,
man.
he stopped in the middle of the road and it spun around us. And when it was gone, everything around us was destroyed. And we were just sitting there in the car. The windows busted in, like the pressure dropped. So all the glass shattered, all the windows in. It was pretty intense. Pretty intense. And I was like, really? For that set? Is my life worth this anymore?
And then, but after that, the cat started paying attention to you.
Yes,
So.
the cat. I thought I was dead because we got this cat and we didn't see it for months because it was like scared. It had whatever happened in its former life. And after I came home, it started coming and sitting in the room and staring at me. And I was like, I must be dead. And like the cat is the only one who can see me. Oh, we digress. You want to talk about type 5?
We're on like type 12 now.
Right, we're on type 12. Oh, all right, I'm trying to see if Phish has actually ever played Queens. There's got to be a bar in Queens somewhere. They played a lot in Manhattan.
I don't believe so. I think the last I did Coney Island for the Brooklyn shows in 2004. They've done Jones Beach, but nothing in Queens.
They played North Tonawanda, which is close to North Charleston.
Pretty sure it's not close to Queens, though. So
it's not close to Queens, though.
No.
Rod, I'm like doing the alphabet in my head.
I'm looking for places.
Yeah, so nothing there. All right. That's
And
funny.
then
And then
SPAC.
Saratoga. SPAC is legendary. Does SPAC have like the biggest lawn of any venue? Is that what people say?
No, Alpine.
Right.
I'd say Alpine goes on forever, and then the Gorge has a pretty large lawn too.
Right.
So definitely not SPAC.
Right. I guess, do people complain about that, or am I mixing it up with something else?
What, the SPAC lawn?
Yeah.
It sounds
that it
not
doesn't
that
sound
great
good.
there. No,
it sounds good. Okay.
No, not really.
Because it's large, or just the way they have it set up?
It's the way they have it set up.
Yes, Alpine. With the year I went to Alpine, people decided to slide down the hill head first toward that concrete barrier at the bottom. I was like, we're getting somebody paralyzed tonight.
Wook's gonna.
Yeah.
It's gonna look.
Exactly. Oh man, that's too crazy. Too crazy. So are we gonna get let me ask you, what do you think of Trey playing with my favorite guy in the whole world and his band Gorilla Toss? You know, Peter told me about that in April of last year, that he was recording at the barn with I'm from Boston, with Steven producing, and he told me the whole thing, and I had to sit on it for all this time. And then, then he was like, hey, Trey actually played with us. Did you listen to the song?
Someone sent me a link the other day. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. It was during work.
It's different. It's different than what Trey normally does, but if you listen, like Peter said, he still kind of sounds like he's doing a farmhouse kind of solo on it. It's like Trey playing on a B-52s record is the best way I can describe it.
So I want to go back to Manchester for a second.
Yeah.
Do you think, given that, Phish played Stand back in 1997.
Oh, yeah.
There's any chance of getting a nod for Slide the
I
Family
bet we get some. My call is going to be they're going to do Tweezer the first night. They open the second set, and they're going to end up with a Want to Take You Higher jam.
Tab did that in 2001 with Dave Matthews.
That would be fun.
22801. But
so long as they don't try to do a Beach Boys song, let's just leave that over there.
Trey
Let
did
God
Only Knows at Folkfest.
Oh, did he? Interesting.
In what was it, 2019? They did like this closing set, like sing a song, whatever, and so like it started out with Jim James and Kermit the Frog did Rainbow Connection, and just like various matches or whatever, and so Trey came back out for God Only Knows with Rachel Price from Lake Street Dive, and I think they had like some strings to them as well. But I think that as far as like a Beach Boys connection, that's it. I'm sure they influenced the band, but like there's no Beach Boys teases or anything like that, or but I feel like Sly and the Family Stone was more of an influence.
Right up their alley. They try to play the funk there, so yes, definitely. Sometimes they almost get there. They almost do. You know,
last time I played in Manchester was the night after Gregory Isaacs died. Did Night Nurse. So you never know. It's been like several days. That's not like this just happened. Like yesterday with them passing away.
That's pretty interesting though. Like, I don't know, it just kind of clicked that you said they've never teased any Beach Boys songs either in any jams. And that's kind of interesting. Like, you'd think somewhere down there'd just be like a joke of one at least, or something that kind of just was in there. Like,
I don't think so.
But that's crazy because I could also see it not ever happening. But it's just funny that like even jokingly around like in the 90s or something when they were like around that they wouldn't have like
stand corrected. Good Vibrations was teased in.
There we go.
1994 right. Chalk Dust, 7/10/94, and then Hawaii by the Beach Boys. I think it was like during the Big Black Fruity Antelope. It's in Providence, 3/13/92. Hawaii, how are you? So, yeah, it's kind of like a joke.
If they do anything, they should do Kokomo, just to like really rub some salt in the wound, you know.
I'll go pass that along to management, Kevin, so we can make that happen.
Kevin
from Wook Plus said play Kokomo to rub salt in the wounds for like the fans.
Oh man,
yeah.
I don't know. I've always wondered why when Walter from Steely Dan died, they did not do a Steely Dan tune that night. And then Trey turned around and played Steely Dan at whatever that songwriter thing was a few months back or last year.
It's when they got inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Right. Like
he was playing. Uncle Jesse was a Beach Boy for a while. Like he got in there early. Like
Stamos was really.
Yeah, he's still doing it. Wait, now I can't get out of it.
Oh, poor Llama.
No, they think Llama. It's not Llama tonight, Scott. I was going to tell you it is me. Yes, it's not. So don't give Llama any undue hate. He's at home on the couch, or he's curling. It's
curling.
They
have a summer curling league. It's wet, but
it's more like skipping rocks.
It's like skip right. Oh man,
that's summer curling.
So, I think I'd say the reason why they didn't do anything for Steely Dan is because he died. Like I'm not sure when they found out, but like that was already the Sunday show at that point.
Right.
9/3/17. So,
right. It was that morning that it was announced. So I was like,
"Oh, all right. Well, yeah, I guess that could have happened then." Like,
but then they would do something like "Ricky, don't lose that number," and I'd be disappointed because I'd be like, "Do some obscure thing no one knows."
They teased Showbiz Kids back in Miami '03, so like they've definitely done that.
Right, that would be fun.
It was like going back to Albany last year. Like the news just spread around like wildfire with Phil Lesh passing away, and then obviously opened the show with Box of Rain. So right. It's always interesting to see like what musicians or whatever are going to have that immediate impact, like Clarence Clemens, and then to a lesser extent like Lou Reed. I think they did like rock and roll that night.
Well, and when Bowie died, they decided we're going to do a whole album for Halloween.
Right. I mean, that's something that was months and months and months
after, because he died like
Right, but wasn't that the story though, that it inspired the choice? Him dying? That's what I think it was.
And Charlie Watts too. When Charlie died, they did that song at the Gorge. They do Shine a Light, I think, or
something like that.
Yeah. So it is interesting though. I always think about that too, which ones they honor and which ones they don't. And like I always think it's like who gets the song and not. And I think sometimes you can just, like we were saying, give it a tease and a jam, which I think would be kind of cool to do. Like you could almost do like the medley.
3 years. They waited 3 years for Terrapin Station. So
yeah,
it's never now.
Yeah, for sure. It's just it's interesting though to see like what the influences are and what they do like pay respects to, I guess you could say, after it happens.
That's what I was going for. And I am with you on a Sparkle. A Sparkle is always a great first song set.
We do love a good Sparkle. We do.
Sparkle is fun. I've hurt myself at Colorado the other year when they did it. I thought I could dance like I was 20 still.
So then what do you think about the break?
I feel bad laughing at you when I'm picturing it, but it's just it's getting down to
laugh. It's fine.
I'm laughing and I'm falling apart here. So
as Kevin does it. So then what do you think about the little break and then doing the September run? I mean, I guess that's your East Coast kind of make up for dicks, so to speak. You could look at it wise, right? Because now you get more shows.
Fall tour.
Yeah, a little fall tour for it.
Yeah, I'll be at Hampton. Excited for that.
Those will be fun.
Fascinating. Yes. They got him for that festival. That's really fascinating to me that they're doing the festival. I wonder if they get 2 sets or if it's a festival set. Is it okay?
No, they've announced it's 2 sets.
Right. Trey is not good at writing one long set. He doesn't know where the break should be in his head.
All right. So somebody needs to clue me in here because I keep seeing in the chat like there's like a hidden joke.
They're just making fun of me if I like smoke or if I sit up or if I
if he adjusts himself in his chair.
Like,
which he does a lot.
You scratch your nose, then you have to drink or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that thing.
This is like the audience secret language.
Exactly.
we're gonna get clued in on the instructions like about like 2 years.
Yeah, it's been on fire tonight
for 2 years.
I gotta hand it to the chat though. They've been on fire.
I'm so ready for tour. So ready for tour. It ain't all about me. Well, that's good to know, Michael. I appreciate that.
All right, so
I don't want it to be all about me.
Yeah.
You made a Hornsby reference. Good for you, Scott. All right. We will be around Friday, 15 minutes after the encore. If you remember, we're doing the member hangs. Tomorrow, we're dropping Blue Ox Festival preview. Make sure you check that out. Still going to do the Friday mornings. There's always something. We've had some good shorts.
Something.
We did
got shorts going.
Right. We did one on Zappa talking about Lennon stealing one of his songs.
It's a good one.
It's good.
It's the good
always
one.
good to hear what Frank thinks.
Scott, always a pleasure having you.
Yes,
have fun on tour. Have fun at the shows that you get to go to. I'm jealous as always. We'll do a wrap up.
Hey man, you had West Coast shows when I was going to bed at
That's true.
Right
that's true.
That's
the
show started. So
it's true.
Bounces out a little bit.
That's true. It does, and it's still nice and early for me. It's only like 8:00 when these. So the after shows aren't like 2 a.m. like these guys have to deal with. So it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, come back on afterwards and we'll talk. We'll wrap it up and talk tour. And
always a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Right on.
If you're watching this later, leave a comment. Think about becoming a member. Make sure to like.
Hey, check out the Discord too. Check out the Discord and the Marvin guys. Hang with Marvin when they do the Goose streams, and actually probably Phish streams coming up too, right? Like we'll probably stream.
Dude, we're live. We're live.
Do you want to add one thing here?
But
stop that. Let me. I want to get this in. So we just announced on Fishnet today our Good Karma Pledge Drive, which we've been doing this is the 5th year. In the first 4 years, we have raised $50,000 for the Mockingbird Foundation for Music Education for Kids. So if you go to phish.net, there's the blog right now, and you can, if you want to sign up for that. So like I typically have done donating $20 for every 20-minute jam, then like 30 for a 30-minute jam, 40 minutes. But you can also do something like, if you want to donate anytime there's like a 100 song bust out, or something that you're chasing or whatever. It's kind of fun to
to track how much money
you're for the band.
Yeah.
No, it's fun to root for the band, to have like epic stuff going on, and to kind of get a little enjoyment out of it, and then you get a chance to kind of put some money aside for something that's important as well.
Good cause.
I love it. I love that. I love when they do that. And I love seeing the pledges for the 20-minute jams and 30-minute jams. That's awesome. So good work.
All right.
Do you give more for 30 minutes, or is it just they go over 20? That's it.
So I've done it where, anything from like 20, 29 minutes is $20, and then 30 is 30, 40, 40. So I've a couple 40-minute jams.
Nice.
I challenge somebody to give $1 per minute for the whole tour.
and Kev will match it.
Yeah,
boy, Kev.
Then we can see how much we're actually paying per song.
That's it. That's it. Right on, Scott. That's awesome, though. And yes, everyone out there, donate, chip in. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Make the pledge. All right, guys.
Do it.
We'll see you Friday.
Kev, you didn't do a Neil Young minute.
Yeah, I know. Neil's still hanging out. He's out there doing something.
You guys were killing me tonight with the Finland hot tub talk. I was dying. That was so good.
Wait for it.
Always.
Wait for it.
MC Roach, good having you in the chat tonight, buddy.
MC Roach. Oh wait, we got to stop.
No, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. Now you can do it.